Welcome back, everyone. The last 5 bizarre interactions video did very well, so I figured I would make another one. And these are all ones that were told to me after I made that first video. So very quickly, if you're looking for a place to hang out and talk about Star Wars Unlimited and deck building for free, consider joining my Discord. Link is in the description. And with that, let's get right into the first bizarre interaction. First up, and I don't want to make a habit of this, but again, I want to talk about an interaction with no glory only results, which for 5 resources in Blue Villain lets you take control of an enemy non-leader unit and then defeat it. Now, that take control part here is key, because with continuous effects, such as Snoke's Shadow Ruler, there is a small period of time where you actually control Snoke before defeating him, which means that his continuous -2/-2 effect is actually affecting your opponent's board. So if they have any units with 2 or less health, they would be defeated before Snoke is defeated. That was an easy one. Next up, how about we stick with Blue Villain? This time, let's talk about Gar Saxon Victory for Mandalore, who, when he's deployed, grants a +1 attack boost to each friendly upgraded unit. And each of those upgraded units gain, when defeated, you may return an upgrade that was attached to this unit to its owner's hand. Well, this uses last known information. If a pilot unit is currently played as an upgrade when Gar Saxon is deployed, think like Iden Versio on the Corvus. If the Corvus is defeated, you may return Iden to your hand, since at that current moment in time, she was an upgrade. Now, this doesn't work in reverse. If Iden is played and she has her shield token and is defeated, she can't be brought back. Only if she is physically the upgrade. Since we are talking about upgrades, how about we talk about one of the original cards that manipulated upgrades? Visla Power Hungry, who is an 8/7 Mandalorian trooper with the when played and on attack ability, you may pay the cost of an upgrade attached to another non-leader, non-vehicle unit. If you do, you take control of that upgrade and attach it to this unit if able. And if it can't attach to this unit, you defeat it instead. And I specifically want to look at the on-attack portion of this ability. So how combat works in this game is you declare the target and then the on-attack abilities trigger. So if there is an entrenched in play, which if you don't know, for 2 resources in blue, you get +3/+3, but this unit can't attack bases. You could do the following. Declare that Visla will attack the enemy base, then pay the 2 resources to attach entrenched onto Visla to give him the +3/+3. Since you already declared that you are attacking the base, the effect of entrenched doesn't actually happen for this attack and this attack only, which may be a sneaky way to deal 11 damage to finish off your opponent. All right. Enough about upgrades, and how about we take a small little detour into the world of Twin Suns, which changes a lot of cards' power levels. And if there's interest in a full video of cards that are different in Twin Suns, let me know. I can make a video on that. I play a lot of Twin Suns, and I've found a lot of these interactions out firsthand. One of these cards is Caught in the Crossfire, which for 6 resources in red is a disaster event, and you get to choose 2 enemy units in the same arena. Each of those units deal damage equal to its power to the other. And all right, you may think, he's gonna say this can remove 2 different opponents' units, right? Well, yes, but also, let's say opponent A has Cartel Turncoat, and opponent B has Fett's Fire Spray Feared Silhouette. When opponent B's Fire Spray deals damage and defeats the Cartel Turncoat, opponent B is actually the player who defeats the Turncoat, not you who played the event. Thus, you just forced opponent B into claiming the bounty of Cartel Turncoat. And this works with all bounties, but it's a neat little interaction forcing bounty triggers onto certain opponents. Now, I saved the most complicated and hard to explain interaction for last, and this is an interaction between 2 cards. That is Darth Vader commanding the First Legion and Krayt Dragon. So, Darth Vader commanding the First Legion is a 7 resource unit in Green Villain with 5 attack and 7 health and ambush. With the when played ability, search the top 10 cards of your deck for any number of villainy units with a combined cost 3 or less, and play each of them for free. And Krayt Dragon is a crazy 9 resource 10/10 creature in red with Overwhelm, and the ability, when your opponent plays a card, you may deal damage equal to that card's cost to their base or ground unit they control. Now, what makes this interaction so weird is that it is one of the current few instances with nested triggers that actually matter. Let me explain. Imagine your opponent's Krayt Dragon has 5 HP. I don't know, maybe you force choked it. Then you play Darth Vader commanding the First Legion. Since Ambush is also a when played ability, you could either choose to ambush first or choose the when played ability first. But no matter what you choose, Krayt Dragon is triggered and can deal 7 damage to either Darth Vader or your base. But Darth Vader must fully resolve before this when played trigger can resolve. So let's hold that here for a second. Let's say you choose the when played ability to resolve first. This is how it would play out. You would search the top 10 cards of your deck for villainy units with a combined cost 3 or less, and let's say you find Seasoned Shore Trooper and Salacious Crumb Obnoxious Pet. You play Seasoned Shore Trooper first, and now you played a card, and Shore Trooper is done resolving. There is now a window for Krayt Dragon to trigger, so your opponent actually triggers their Krayt Dragon right now, and right now can deal damage to any ground unit or your base. And let's say they deal the 2 damage to Seasoned Shore Trooper. Next, you play Salacious Crumb, and he has the when played trigger that heals 1 damage to your base. But then again, Salacious Crumb is now finished resolving, and there's another window for Krayt Dragon to trigger. And it can once again target your base or any of the 3 units currently in play. And let's say they choose the Shore Trooper again, defeating it. Now, you resolve Darth Vader's ambush, defeating both Krayt Dragon and Darth Vader. But Krayt Dragon still has that lingering trigger that we put aside from that initial Darth Vader play. And now Darth Vader has fully resolved. That original trigger can now finally resolve, and they can deal 7 damage. Why does this matter? Well, how about we reverse the order that you choose the when played triggers, and you decide to ambush with Darth Vader first, then do the when played ability. You would actually defeat the Force Choke Krayt Dragon, then you would play the Shore Trooper and Salacious Crumb. But since Krayt Dragon is now defeated before they are played, it doesn't have a chance to trigger again. However, Darth Vader has finally resolved, therefore the original Krayt Dragon trigger of the 7 damage from Darth Vader can now finally resolve again, and it can either choose Shore Trooper, Salacious Crumb, or your base. Now, you might think that there's not a big difference between these 2 situations, but either your opponent sends that 7 damage to defeat Seasoned Shore Trooper, or you have Seasoned Shore Trooper, Salacious Crumb, and the same damage on your base. And that's why this matters. This type of resolving might be commonplace in the future of the game, so learning how it works now is good. And that is another quick 5 bizarre Star Wars Unlimited interactions. And don't worry, I'm not going to just switch to only this type of content. I'm currently away on a long vacation and will be back on May 1st. And I wanted to try and get a few smaller videos out to you guys during this break, so I'm not just completely absent while I'm on vacation. Also, I figured this would give you an opportunity to look through my content and give me feedback on what you liked, what you don't like, what you'd like to see in the future, what you wouldn't like to see in the future. I kind of made this an experimental time on my channel to see what content the community is looking for. And with that, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and see ya.